Hi everyone, welcome back. I have a compilation of Valentine's Day DIYs. This first DIY is a wishing piece and light sign from Dollar Tree, and I just peel off the paper from the front and it came off really easy, so that was good. And then these stickers are from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to stick them around the outside to make a border, and to make them fit together you just have to cut off one wee rhinestone and then they fit in together perfect. So I'm just going to do this side and then the other side, and it doesn't matter what colour the stickers are because we're going to paint them. Now that's done, I'm going to paint it with some Ivory Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going to brush it on the sides and on the front. And for this next few DIYs I'm using the Ivory chalk paint and some blue paint, but you can use any colours that you like. You can make it pink or red, you don't have to use blue. I was just using blue because my living room is blue. So just choose your favourite colour and you don't have to do blue. So now I'm using the Ocean Waverly chalk paint and I'm just dry brushing it over where the stickers are. Again, you don't have to use blue. Any DIYs you see anyone do, you can change the colours up to make them your own. Even the neutral DIYs, they're like a blank canvas. You can paint them, stain them, colour them, whatever you like. So I'm just dry brushing around the sides as well. And then I have a grapevine heart from Dollar Tree, so I am just going to glue it in the centre. And then the ribbon is also from Dollar Tree, so I am just going to make a wee bow for that. And then I'm going to stick it at the top of the heart. I'm not very good at making bows. I'm getting better, but I don't put bows on a lot of things. I don't think everything needs a bow on it. But the Valentine's stuff, I like them on. So I just hot glue that to the top and then I trim it down. And that's it. And this one is a nice, quick, easy one to do. These three wee wooden squares are from Dollar Tree, and I just painted them with the Ivory chalk paint. And these adhesive pearl stickers are from Dollar Tree, so I am just cutting them out, and I was just measuring them there. I'm gonna stick them to make a border on this because I wasn't gonna have enough of the other stickers to make all the DIYs that I wanted to make. So I'm just cutting them into strips of like 2 rows, and they are the length of the squares. The squares aren't all the same size, by the way. And then I am just sticking them down. You can stick them down before you paint if you want to, but I'm gonna dry brush over with the blue paint again. Remember, it doesn't have to be blue paint. I don't want comments, I don't like blue, I don't care. I'm only joking. No, you can just make it any colour you want. So I stick that round all of them. I'm just going to show you me doing one of them. And then I'm just dry brushing it again with the ocean blue paint. and I'm doing some more and then I do the sides. And you can paint the back if you want to, if it bothers you. So this is all 3 of them, and I printed out some wee cherubs on my Cricut. So I am just going to stick them down and make them into a stencil. I think these wee cherubs are so cute. You can't see it because it's white, or maybe on the bigger screen you can see it. And I'm just using a piece of sponge to dab on the blue paint, and then I'm going to peel it off. And look how cute. I think that one is the cutest one. It kind of looks like my son when he was wee. Okay, so I messed up on that one, I think. One of them I messed up on, and we did too much, but I fix it. And I just fix it by putting that piece back on, and then I paint over it with the ivory chalk paint. So just be careful when you're weeding that you don't weed parts that you're not supposed to. I just gave it a blast with a hairdryer, and then I gave it another coat. And you can't even notice. Again, you can do these any colour you like. I'm gonna keep saying it. Okay, did I do 3 coats there? Oh, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. Well, whatever it takes to cover it up, that's what you need to do. So now I'm just going to turn them all over, and I'm using the ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just hot gluing it to the back. And I decided to do the whole thing. You can just cut off little pieces if you want to, just to put on the back, but I used the whole thing. I could always put it on the sides as well, that would work, if you wanted to do the whole thing. And then at the top, I made a wee loop, although you can't see it. And this is how it turned out, and look how cute that is. So this wooden piece is everything's from Dollar Tree, and the candle holder, you can do any shape candle holder you want. So I'm just putting the stickers around as a border again, because it's going to be a wee riser. You don't even have to use these stickers if you don't want to, but they do make everything really pretty. And if any rhinestones come up, you can just stick them back down again. And then the bits you cut off, you can just add on, and it all matches up. It's another reason why I like them. Oh, there's Ethan's hands. He coming and playing with the stuff. And then I put another one around the candlestick. Also, that's optional as well. Oh, still sticking bits on. And then I painted it all with the ivory chalk paint, and now I am just dry brushing it with the ocean colour chalk paint. Just the same as I did with the other DIYs. And I just love how these stickers look. Even if you don't dry brush them, they still look pretty with just the ivory colour. And then I do that one as well. And I printed off a heart design on my Cricut, and I made it into a stencil. So I'm just going to stick that down. I've seen if it was in the right place. And then I just use a piece of sponge. Now I use makeup sponges, but I was using sponge there till someone said makeup sponge is much better. And you get them at Dollar Tree as well. And then I just dab on the paint. And you can use any design you like from Cricut, or you could even use the stickers from Dollar Tree. I think Dollar Tree has stencils now as well. So while it's still wet, I just peel off the vinyl and then weed out the extra bits. And look, it's got a big heart with some wee hearts in it. And then once that's dry, I just hot glued it to the candlestick. You can use a stronger glue if you want to. And then that's it. You can put candle on here or a nice plant or something else. This is a wee vase from Dollar Tree, and I am just cleaning it off with some alcohol because I'm going to paint it with the ivory chalk paint. And then I'm using, oh, I put sticker on the bottom. I forgot to show that part. So I'm just dry brushing that. And then I had printed off a couple of doves on my Cricut, and I'm going to attach that to the front. And it's going to be a stencil again. And it was kind of hard getting it over the curve, but it worked out. So you just have to keep playing around with it, and then you just push it down once you take the transfer tape off. And it turned out nice. So I'm going to keep fiddling with it. I don't know for how long. Okay, I'm using the Cricut tool as well, just to make sure those pieces, the small pieces, are really stuck down. And now I'm just going to cut off another piece of sponge and then use the ocean blue chalk paint to dab on over the stencil. And you just need to do one coat with this. And then I'm just pulling off the vinyl, and then I'm going to weed all the wee parts. So it's 2 doves and a heart. You see? And I thought they looked really cute. So just be careful because you don't want to chip off the paint underneath. Or you could always just use vinyl and not make a stencil. But I like how it looks with the paint. And then I'm just dry brushing around the rim to finish it off. And this is how it turned out. So this is a wooden plank from Dollar Tree. So I am just taking off the hanger because I'm not going to use that. And then I painted it with the ivory chalk paint, and I printed off the word love, well, the letters for the word love separately so I could put it on the sign. So I'm just transferring it over now. And you can kind of see it. So I'm just doing the top and the bottom ones first, and then I'm going to do the middle 2 letters. So I'm using the ocean blue paint again, and I'm just dabbing it on. If you wanted to just use whatever color vinyl you like, you could just do that instead. So I'm just peeling it off here, and had a nice wee swirly heart design around the letters. So I'll just show you me weeding that one. Okay, and I dry brushed around the sides. I must have done it off camera. And I'm just adding a piece of the Dollar Tree ribbon to the top. And then I'm going to make a wee bow, and I'm going to put that on the top as well. Okay, I'm doing it now. Making the wee bows is hard as well. And then you gotta make them so they look right. Okay, so I just hot glue that to the top. And this is it. And I love how this one turned out. Here I have some tower blocks and some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. I'm just going to take one block and glue the side, and then I am going to glue 2 tower blocks. So the 2 tower blocks that are touching are in the middle of the first tower block. And then I glue 3 with the middle tower block lining up with the first one. And then the next row has to line up with the second row. And then the 5th row lines up with the 3rd row. And then I just do the same thing on the other side because I'm making a heart shape. And I had to speed it right up. And then I stained it with some Waverly Antique Wax, and now I am just going to dry brush it with some ivory chalk paint. And again, all these next DIYs are neutrals, but you can paint them, stain them any color you like. This is just what I wanted to do when I was making them, but you guys can make them your own. And then once it was dry, I sanded it with a sanding block. And then I'm just attaching a hanger to the back with a popsicle stick and some twine. This is another grapevine heart from Dollar Tree, and I'm just hot gluing it so that I can stick it in the middle. And then I'm using that ribbon again, and I'm just making a bow to put on the top of the heart. And you could use different ribbon if you want. But I love these grapevine hearts. I bought some more this year, but they aren't in a heart shape. So I read online you can soak them in water and reshape them, so that's what I'm going to do. But they were definitely better made last time I bought them. So I just hot glued that to the top, and this is how it turned out, and I love how this one turned out. And this is a wee frame from Dollar Tree, and it had a succulent in the middle, which I used for something else. So I am just pulling the little metal bit out and the glue off, and then I paint it with the ivory chalk paint. And then I gave it a sand with a sanding block just to distress it a wee bit. And you don't have to do this, it's up to you. And then these stickers are from Dollar Tree, and I'm just choosing this love one and sticking it down. And then I decided I didn't like the glitter on that heart, so I painted it with the ivory chalk paint. And then I took the antique wax and just put a wee bit over the top, and this is how it turned out, and this is perfect for a tier tray. So I have this choose your dreams sign, and I am just peeling all the paper off of it. Because some parts of the paper were sticking up. I don't think I did all of it actually. And then I painted it with the ivory chalk paint, and then I have this board game from Dollar Tree, and I stained all the pieces on the back of them with the antique wax, and I'm just distressing the frame a wee bit, and these wee pieces fit inside it perfect. But then I had to figure out how they were because they're not all the same size like everything from Dollar Tree. So place them inside and make sure they're going to fit, and then stain them, and then you gotta make sure they fit again before you start gluing them down. So now I'm just using the wood glue to glue them down. Also, you could paint these if you wanted to. You could cover the entire inside of the box with them if you wanted to. You could just use hot glue as well, or some other kind of glue. But I like to use the wood glue whenever I'm using wood. And I like the Dollar Tree one because it's in a wee tiny bottle and it's easy. So once they're all down, I have this metal heart which was from one of the Valentine's signs, and I'm just going to wrap some twine around it and then hot glue it, make sure it stays in place. And then I just did the same thing for the other side, and just hot glue it so it stays where you want it to go. And yeah, just keep hot gluing it and then putting the twine around. And then I hot glued it into the middle, and this is how this one turned out. And it's nice and cute and simple. So I have a mini palette from Dollar Tree, and I stained it with some Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm just going to dry brush it with some ivory chalk paint. You can stain the back if you want. Nobody's going to see it. Yeah, so just dry brush that on as much as you like. And then once it's dry, I'm going to sand it down with the sanding block. And I just like how it looks when you do this. So I'm just attaching some twine to the back, and then I'm going to twirl it around it. And you can do this until it looks how you want it to look. And then once you're happy with it, you can just hot glue the back and then trim it down. So that I burned all the wee hairs off with a lighter. And I'm using that ribbon from Dollar Tree again. I decided I wanted the whatever side to be that side. So that's making the wee hanger, and just put some extra hot glue on it. And then I have another grapevine heart, and I'm just going to hot glue that and put it in the middle. And then I make another wee bow with the lace ribbon from Dollar Tree. I should be good at making bows by now. I've done enough in this video. So I just hot glue that to the top, and that's it. And I love how this one turned out as well. So I have some of the wood planks from Dollar Tree, a wooden square, and the inside of one of those wee drawers. Okay, so I started gluing the wrong piece with the Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. Oh, I also have some skewers. I didn't even notice them there. So I glue that down like that, and then I glue the what are they called? The planks. Yeah, so I had to do it this way so that it would fit in the inside the wooden square at the bottom. And then once I'd glued them, I just took the skewers and I measured them, cut them down, and then I glued them to cover up the gaps at the sides and to help hold it together. So I just cut them down with some pliers, and then using the wood glue, just put some glue on it, and then just put them on the corners like this. And I did that for all the sides. That one fell off. And then just do it for the other two sides. Oops. Okay, once that's dry. Oh no, it's not. Oh yeah, I put some masking tape on it, or painter's tape, just to hold it together until it dries. I can't even remember making this. Okay, once it's dry, you can peel off the tape. And then it'll all be held together nicely. And then I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax. And I have another one of those metal hearts. And what I'm going to do is attach the ribbon to the back, but only like half of it, so that it gives this heart a frilly edge. I just be careful because the hot glue makes the metal hot. You don't want to burn your fingers. So I just do that all the way around. And then I just trimmed it off. And then I glued it to the front of my vase or planter, whatever you want to call it. I made another wee bow. And I'm going to stick that on the heart. I'm doing more stuff. So I decided it was a bit plain, and then, or I must have decided it was a bit plain, and then I'm just gluing some of the ribbon around the bottom, and I must be doing the top as well. And you can start at the back if you want to. I just put some greenery in here, and this is how it turned out. This is a heart sign from Dollar Tree, and these wee blocks are from Dollar Tree. And I am just going to glue them all around the outside of the heart. I think I was going to keep the hanger on at the start of this. I was going to keep the holes. No, then I changed my mind. So you just need to glue these all around the outside, and I put them right to the edge of the heart. So that's one side done, and you might have to space them out a wee bit because you got to make sure it goes right to the bottom. And then I stained it with some Waverly Antique Wax, and now I am just going to dry brush it with some ivory chalk paint. And I think I only did the middle, so just put on as much paint as you like, whatever looks good to you. Yeah, I didn't want to get it on the blocks. And then I sanded it once it was dry. And don't worry about getting right to the edges, because I'm going to put some rope on this. The nautical rope from Dollar Tree. I was just gluing the end there so that I can cut off the wee piece of sellotape that they come with. And then I just start at the bottom and hot glue piece by piece until I get all the way around. And you could use the brown rope from Dollar Tree if you wanted to. So I'll just keep hot gluing all the way around. And then I'm using a piece of tape to tape it off at the end, snip it, and then hot glue it. Once the glue is dry, I will take the tape off, and then it won't unravel. And then you can just glue that piece in place. So you can leave it like this if you want to, but I wanted to put some of that ribbon around the outside. So I'm just going to hot glue it around the outside. You could use a different ribbon if you want to. I just keep gluing it around. And I just think it made it look more finished. But you can leave it off if you want to. And I made it into a wee tray. You could put feet on it if you want to. So I'm going to take that same tray that I just made, and I'm just hot gluing some twine to the back, and then I'm going to wrap it all over. And you can put as much or as little twine on as you like. But I thought I would just show you another DIY you could do with this tray. So I'll just keep wrapping the twine around, And then once you're happy with it, just hot glue it down. I didn't put a hanger on this one because there's so much twine on the back. And I made another wee bow and I just hot glued that to the middle of the heart. This is just a wooden plaque from Dollar Tree, and I stained it with the Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm upside down, and I'm back again. And then I stained it, no, didn't stain it. I dry brushed it with the ivory chalk paint. And then I sanded it with a sanding block. And I'm using the brown nautical rope. And I just did the same thing as the last one. I hot glued the end so I could take off the sellotape. And now I am just going to glue that around the outside of the plaque. You could use the other rope for this if you wanted to, or the ribbon. So just keep gluing it around. And then when you get to the end, wrap it with the tape. And then you can cut it off and hot glue it. And it's pretty almost seamless. You can't really notice it too much because it didn't unravel. And then I burned all the wee hairs with a lighter. Be careful when you're doing that. So I'm just making a hanger for the back. And I'm just using some twine and a popsicle stick. I'm just going to hot glue that on. And I made the word love on my Cricut. And I'm just going to put that on one side and transfer it. And I thought I had no brown paint. So I just use the antique wax to brush. Did I brush it over or dab it on? We'll find out right now. Yeah, I brushed it on. This isn't the best thing for it, but I needed brown and I had forgotten that I did buy brown paint a while before this. But it still turned out nice. It didn't turn out like a perfect stencil, but I like how it looks. Oh yeah, it started coming up. So what I did was I just pulled it off and then I just touched up the pieces that came off with some more antique wax. So you can see where it needs touched up. I just took a wee thin brush and did that. And yeah, the lines weren't perfect, but I liked how it looked. Again, you can use any colours for this. You don't have to use neutral colours. Then I have another grapevine heart. And I just hot glued that on the other side of the sign. And I put a wee bow on it. And this is how it turned out. This is a hug me sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut the hanger off. And then I painted this side with some ink chalk paint to cover up. I didn't paint the sides or the front. And I filled in the hole with wood filler, but you don't need to do that because you're not going to see the hole anyway. And this wood filler is so hard to get out of the tube. So I just used one box of tower blocks. I don't know if I had to use more in the end because I was only going to do one row, and then I decided to make 2 rows of tower blocks. So I am just gluing them all along the edge with some Dollar Tree super glue wood glue. And this DIY Dollar Tree featured on their Instagram. They now featured me 3 times. So I'm gonna see if I can get featured again this year. So I just continued to put it right to the edge and glue it all the way around. Well, glue the tower blocks all the way around. So if you just wanted to do one row, you could just leave one row like this. But I decided to do 2 rows, make it a bit more sturdy. So I just glue them all on the inside. And this is it. So now I have this as a piece of a heart sign from Dollar Tree, and I am just going to glue some tower blocks on the glitter side of this. And I only did 1 row of tower blocks for this. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to see this side. So I'll just glue them all the way around. And then I stained them with some Waverly Antique Wax. And this is what they look like. So I'm going to dry brush some ivory chalk paint onto the top of this. Just the same as I did with the other DIYs. As much or as little as you like. And then once it's dry, I sanded it down. And then the tower blocks were a wee bit wobbly, so I just reinforced it with some hot glue. And I printed off the word love, and I'm just going to stick that down. I'm making a stencil again. You could just print off, or you could just weed it the other way around if you don't want to make stencils. So I really like this font actually. And then I am using the Waverly Antique Wax again because I'm stupid and forgot I had brown paint. So I'm just dabbing it on with a wee piece of sponge. And actually I really like how this turned out because it didn't turn out perfect, and I think that looked better for this DIY. So once I peeled it off, I had to touch it up again, so I just did that with a wee tiny paintbrush. I'll just weed in the extra, or the inside parts here. And then I touch it up with a wee paintbrush. And Dollar Tree has stickers too that you could just use. I don't know if you have love that looks like this, but they have plenty of stickers and transfers and stuff, so you could probably find something if you don't have a Cricut. So now I'm just going to fill it with some rocks from Dollar Tree, and then I have a bunch of succulents from Dollar Tree. and it needed more than one bag of rocks. So I had some from another bag just to fill it out, and then I just placed succulents all around in the stones, and I love how this one turned out. So we're now at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'm going to do some brand new Valentine's DIYs. So thanks for watching. Bye!